Chosen one, the power awakening within you is so great that I had to refine you through many difficult seasons before placing the authority to use it into your hands. I am Michael, and I have come to help you understand that the heavy years were not evidence that you had been forgotten, nor were they signs that you were walking in the wrong direction. Some things can only be entrusted to a heart that has learned to remain steadfast without applause, to a mind that can distinguish between a genuine calling and dangerous flattery, and to a person who has passed through pain without allowing pain to turn them bitter. What is about to grow within you is not the ability to dominate others or the power to force every circumstance to bow before your will. It is the strength to govern yourself, preserve clarity amid chaos, and carry peace into places long ruled by fear, conflict, and despair. You have wondered why your journey was not as easy as that of others, why roads that appeared wide open suddenly closed, and why people you trusted wholeheartedly departed when you needed them most. I know there were nights when you looked at the delay and believed you were being prevented from moving forward. You watched others advance more quickly, receive recognition sooner, and obtain things for which you had prayed, while you remained in a place that seemed to show no evidence of change. But, my child, what comes quickly does not always endure, and what is given before you have matured enough to carry it may become a burden rather than a blessing. I did not slow you down to punish you. I did so to make your inner foundation strong enough that when greater responsibility arrived, you would not lose yourself amid admiration, wealth, influence, or decision-making authority. The seasons of loneliness taught you to hear the deepest voice within yourself. When people left one after another, you no longer had anywhere to hide behind their opinions. You were compelled to face your wounds, fears, and even the desires that had once governed your decisions. At times, you believed that separation was merely emptiness, but I used it as a room of training there. You learned not to react immediately to every insult, not to entrust your secrets to anyone, merely because they appeared close to you, and not to chase a door simply because many people claimed it was valuable. You learned that silence is not weakness, that delaying a decision can sometimes be wise, and that leaving a place that drains you is not failure. Every one of those lessons is becoming a layer of protection around what I am preparing to entrust to you. True strength does not make you louder. It makes you steadier. It does not cause you to desire that others fear you. It helps you stop fearing rejection, misunderstanding, and unfair judgment. When this strength matures, you can enter a room filled with tension without being consumed by it. You can hear provoking words without answering in anger. You can face a difficult decision without selling your values for temporary convenience. Your calmness alone may change the atmosphere, because someone who stands firmly in truth carries a different order from someone who reacts from fear. You will not need to display power. The way you live, speak, and treat those who are vulnerable will reveal the authority that has been formed within you. I allowed the waiting to continue because I needed to teach you not to use new influence as compensation for old wounds. If authority had been given to you while you still needed to prove your worth, you might have used it to seek recognition. If you had been elevated while bitterness still remained within you, you might have turned opportunity into an instrument of revenge. If many people had listened to you before you learned humility, your words might have wounded the very people I wanted you to strengthen. Therefore, Every time you had to begin again, every season in which you were required to slow down, and every occasion when you did not receive what you desired, were correcting something within you. I was not merely preparing a door for you. I was preparing you for that door. Success without depth will exhaust you, and influence without compassion will turn you into what you once despised. Understand that the power I place within you begins with the power to choose. You can choose peace when chaos tries to pull you in. You can choose honesty when deception promises an easier path. You can choose to leave an unhealthy relationship even while your heart still feels attached. You can choose to keep a promise even when no one is checking. These choices may appear small, but they redirect the entire course of a life. A person who knows how to govern their speech, time, emotions, and responsibilities will gradually be trusted with greater things. This is the kind of power that cannot be taken from you through rumors, competition, or disappointment, because it does not depend upon an external position. It has become part of your character. There will come a time when you enter places where you once believed you did not belong. People will listen to you because they sense experience within your words, not because you are trying to impress them. Some of your decisions will open opportunities for others, and certain words you speak at the right moment will prevent a heart from surrendering to despair. Yet when that time comes, you must always remember that you were not raised up to glorify yourself. You were placed in a position of influence to protect, guide, and serve. If a door opens, enter with gratitude. If others place their trust in you, respond with responsibility. If you are given permission to speak, do not use your words to humiliate or control. Power is safest in gentle hands, because someone who is truly strong does not need to make others feel small in order to feel great. Some people left because they were only compatible with an older version of you. They knew how to remain close while you doubted yourself, but they did not know how to respond when you began establishing boundaries. They were accustomed to you, always giving away the better portion, apologizing first, and carrying responsibility for mistakes that belonged to others. When you matured, relationships built upon imbalance naturally began to tremble. Do not regard every departure as betrayal. Sometimes it creates necessary space so that you do not carry old voices into a new season. Forgive, but do not return to patterns that weakened you. Love, but do not reopen a door when the other person has shown no genuine change. You can preserve a pure heart while still protecting your peace. From this day forward, stop asking when that strength will arrive, because it has already begun revealing itself through the way you respond differently. Every time you restrain a word that could cause harm, that strength grows. Every time you courageously say no to what is not right for you, it grows. Every time you continue working before receiving recognition, it grows. You do not need to wait for a dazzling sign to know that you have changed. Look at your new calmness, your new clarity, and your ability to continue walking without requiring everyone's agreement. These are the signs of refinement. The doors ahead will not respond only to your desires. They will respond to the person you have become. My child, power without love becomes cruelty, power without wisdom becomes chaos, and power without discipline turns back and injures the person carrying it. That is why I refined you for so long, so that all three could mature together within you. Stop resenting the years of delay. Look back and recognize that you were not being held back. You were being made strong enough not to be crushed by what you once requested. Now walk in humility, speak through truth, choose through peace, and use every measure of influence you receive to heal rather than dominate. I will remain beside you, preventing you from forgetting who you are when you are elevated, and from diminishing yourself when you are tested. What is awakening within you is not intended to make you dangerous to other people. It is meant to ensure that deception, fear, and old patterns no longer have authority over your life. This is the strength I prepared you to carry, and now you are ready to enter a season in which even your peaceful presence can prepare the way for light. Open your heart in this moment, because what was delayed is beginning to find its way back to you, like a golden scroll being opened at the appointed time. These are not merely comforting words that pass over you and disappear. They are a reminder intended specifically for the journey. You have been walking quietly for a long time. I know there were nights when you lay still, but your heart could not rest. Things for which you prayed until you no longer knew what words to use, and doors you knocked upon for so long while silence remained on the other side. Yet tonight carries a different rhythm. It is not because the sky outside has changed, but because the time has come for something within you to stop resisting the good that is seeking you. The wind that once pushed you in the opposite direction is becoming gentle. What was once immovable is beginning to shift, and the broken pieces you believed could never be arranged are gradually returning to their proper places. My beloved child, it is time to stop fighting for what should never require you to beg. You have spent too much strength trying to convince others that you deserved love, too many days proving that your presence had value, and too many nights enduring in silence. Because you feared that if you spoke, others would leave. I want you to understand that genuine love does not force you to kneel before coldness, nor does it continually require you to make yourself smaller to fit another person's immaturity. What belongs in your life will not arrive by exhausting you. It will come with clarity, respect, and a sense of peace that needs no explanation. You were not chosen to remain forever in painful waiting. You were called to enter a season in which what you once only dared to dream about will begin appearing through very specific signs. I guarded this moment throughout the days when you believed everything remained still. Each time you were disappointed, but refused to become bitter. Every time you were misunderstood, but preserved your integrity. And every occasion when you could have retaliated, but chose discerning silence, you moved closer to this door. You often believed nothing was happening because your eyes could not yet see a result. But invisible preparation always precedes visible change. Some things had to be removed from you before the new could remain. Certain relationships had to leave so that you would no longer be pulled backward into what you had already overcome. Certain old thoughts needed to change, so that when a blessing arrived, you would no longer fear it and push it away with your own hands. What heaven now awaits from you is not a dramatic declaration or an action that makes everyone look at you. It requires only your deepest agreement that you are ready to leave the old cycle. One sincere whisper is enough. In silence, you may say that you accept healing, that you accept no longer chasing those who do not value you, that you accept releasing the doubt that has held you back for too long, and that you accept receiving what is good without feeling guilty. The moment you genuinely agree, movement begins. At first, it may be so small that you believe you are merely feeling slightly calmer, sleeping deeply for one night, or experiencing less need to control everything. But then that change will spread, like morning light touching every dark corner without making a sound. You will notice others beginning to treat you differently. Not because all of them suddenly changed, but because you no longer permit yourself to be placed in the old position. When you stop doubting your worth, diminishing words will no longer find a place to attach themselves. When you stop chasing approval, others will be compelled to see you through different eyes. More suitable opportunities will appear, because you are no longer wasting time in places that only consume your strength. Conversations will become clearer, relationships will be filtered, and what once confused you will reveal its true nature. You do not need to force everything into place. When you stand in your proper position, many things will naturally realign around you. A new wave of love is approaching, but it will not resemble what you experienced before. It will not merely be an intense emotion that causes you to forget who you are. It will be a warmth that brings you back to yourself. A presence beside which you can breathe deeply, without wondering whether that person will still be there tomorrow. This love may come through an individual, your family, a healthy community, or a profound reconciliation within yourself. It will not demand that you suffer to prove your loyalty. It will teach you that being loved is not a reward for years of endurance. It is something you deserve when you live honestly and know how to protect your peace. The restlessness that once lived within you will gradually become quiet. I know it caused you to believe that you always needed to do one more thing, or your future would slip from your hands. You feared that if you did not continually check, push, or try to keep everyone close, everything would fall apart. But, my child, what is enduring does not need to be guarded through anxiety. When you truly trust that you are being guided, you will stop chasing every small sign and calling it destiny. You will know how to wait with discernment, act when necessary, and pause when your heart lacks peace. This stillness is not weakness. It is the strength of someone who has learned that not every door must be forced open by their own hands. Something greater than your current understanding led you to this moment. The times when you believed you were lost helped you leave places that no longer suited you. The failures that once caused shame trained you to rise without needing applause. The people who departed left enough space for you to discover that you could still live, love, and grow. What you called delay may have been protection. What you called loss may have freed your hands to receive something better. Grace sometimes arrives in a form you do not immediately recognize, but when the covering is removed, you will understand that you were never left behind. Therefore, do not return in search of answers behind doors that have already closed. Stop asking why someone did not choose you, why an opportunity slipped from your hands, or why you were required to wait longer than others. Those questions have fulfilled their purpose. Now you must ask something new. Who am I being invited to become in this season? Are you ready to live as someone who no longer fears scarcity? Are you ready to receive love without suspicion, receive success without destroying it, and receive peace without believing you must pay for it through suffering? When you answer honestly, the future will no longer resemble a distant wall. It will begin through the choice you make in the present. Therefore, my beloved child, place your hand upon your chest and allow yourself to breathe slowly. You do not need to understand the entire road before taking the next step. You only need to trust that what is intended for you will not become lost in someone else's life. What belongs to you does not need to be fought for through desperation. It will find you when you are calm enough to recognize it. I am standing near you, preventing you from returning to places that caused you to forget your worth while guiding you toward a wider space. Your golden scroll is being opened one line at a time, not through empty promises, but through healing, healthy doors, sincere relationships, and peace gradually taking root. Agree to move toward that light. Disguises are falling away. What was unclear is becoming visible, and you will soon recognize that grace was not merely calling your name from a distance. It was quietly walking beside you during every step of the journey. You will soon recognize a profound transformation taking place within you. What once confused you will gradually become clear, and the circumstances that easily stole your peace will no longer possess enough authority to shake you as they once did. This is not because the world around you has suddenly become simpler, but because your way of seeing has matured. You will begin recognizing the patterns hidden beneath people's actions, understanding what remains unspoken within a conversation, and sensing the direction of an opportunity before it fully takes shape. I want you to know that this ability is not appearing so that you may become proud or suspicious of everyone. It is given so that you may discern, choose what is suitable, and stop giving your precious time to roads that lead only to exhaustion. The clarity growing within you is not sudden good fortune. It is the result of a long journey of refinement. Every time you had to choose before receiving all the answers, every time you rose after disappointment, and every time you remained calm amid words that wounded you contributed to the expansion of your awareness. In the past, you may have been easily carried away by temporary emotions or trusted the outward appearance of a situation. Now you know how to pause, observe, and wait for what is true to reveal itself. Your role is expanding, and therefore you can no longer walk through uncertainty or allow fear to make decisions on your behalf. A new vision requires you to live with greater intention. Understand what you are protecting and know why you are choosing your present path. I know there were days when you doubted your worth. You wondered whether you truly carried a meaningful calling or were merely holding on to a dream that was too distant. When no one recognized your efforts, you believed that what you were quietly building would produce no result. Yet, my beloved child, many of the most important forms of growth do not take place before a crowd. There were seasons when I kept you in stillness, not because I had forgotten you, but because I was protecting the process that was taking shape. If everyone had seen those first steps, their opinions and expectations might have distracted you. I allowed you to grow in private, so that you would learn to hear the genuine voice within yourself, rather than living according to the constantly changing approval of the world. During the days when nothing significant seemed to happen, I helped you build a kind of strength that could not easily be taken away. It is not toughness displayed through a loud voice, nor is it the ability to hide every vulnerability. It is the steadiness that helps you preserve your direction. When circumstances are overturned, remember who you are when others misunderstand you, and continue choosing what is right even without immediate reward. I needed you to become strong in the deepest place within yourself, where the judgment of others cannot reach unless you give it permission. When this strength rests upon the right foundation, you will no longer need continually to prove yourself. You will be able to listen without being easily controlled. Receive correction without losing your dignity, and leave what is unhealthy without carrying bitterness with you. You are no longer the person you were in previous years, although you may sometimes continue viewing yourself through old eyes. Your way of thinking has changed. The negative things you once tolerated because you feared displeasing others have now become matters around which you know how to establish boundaries. The empty conversations into which you once tried to fit no longer satisfy the longing within you. You desire deeper sincerity, more responsible relationships, and a life that reflects what you genuinely believe. This is not evidence that you have become demanding or distant. It proves that you have matured enough to stop exchanging peace for temporary acceptance. You are learning to choose quality over quantity, truth over outward brilliance, and lasting purpose over momentary comfort. These changes demonstrate that the refinement process is working. You are ready to carry more, but that does not mean you must accept every responsibility placed before you. A mature person is not someone who always says yes. It is someone who knows what belongs to them and what must be set down. I am teaching you to use your abilities with wisdom, because strength not guided by love can become a burden both to you and to those around you. When additional opportunities are given to you, remain humble. When others trust you, honor that trust through consistency. When your voice carries greater influence, use it to strengthen, illuminate, and defend truth rather than elevating yourself above anyone. Along with this expansion, you will encounter moments that test your balance. Sometimes circumstances will pressure you to react immediately, but wisdom will remind you to slow down and see the complete picture. Sometimes emotion will rise and tempt you to speak with great force, but maturity will help you choose words that do not destroy what you are trying to protect. There will also be times when outward circumstances appear to deny everything you believe. And then you must remember that truth does not change because of one difficult day. These tests are not sent to make you stumble. They help you learn to keep your strength in order. A capable person without balance can destroy what took years to build. Therefore, I am teaching you patience when pressured, silence when words would bring no benefit, and action when the moment has genuinely become ripe. You have often felt that you were not suited to a life centered only upon narrow and superficial things, because there has always been a longing within you for something deeper. Outward success cannot satisfy you when it lacks inner meaning. You cannot remain forever in environments that require you to abandon your values in order to be accepted. This restlessness is not a defect. It is a compass reminding you that you are being led toward a purpose greater than personal comfort. Yet do not confuse living differently with needing to become famous or superior to everyone. Greatness may be revealed in your faithfulness to a small responsibility, in helping one person during their despair, or in preserving integrity in a place where dishonesty is considered normal. I place the desire for meaning within you because I know the road for which you are being prepared. It is a role requiring courage to speak truth while preserving compassion, clarity that prevents surrounding noise from changing your direction, and steadfastness to continue even when results do not immediately appear. You are becoming someone capable of standing firmly amid change without needing to control everything. You do not have to stop every storm. You only need to know where your foundation lies. When others panic, your composure may become the place where they rediscover direction. When they despair, the experiences you have survived will help you offer truthful words rather than empty comfort. Even so, remember that standing firm does not mean never becoming tired. You still need rest, support, and the humility to admit when you do not know the answer. I do not require you to become invulnerable. I am teaching you to become someone who does not allow injury to decide the entirety of their life. True strength does not deny emotion. It listens to emotion and then chooses action through wisdom. You may be tender without being weak, forgiving while preserving boundaries, and loving without continuing to permit disrespect. When you understand this, you will stop searching for strength through defeating others. You will find it in the ability to govern yourself. Therefore, receive this transition with gratitude and awareness. Do not return to an older version of yourself merely because it feels familiar. Do not diminish your vision to make those who do not understand you feel comfortable. You also do not need to hurry to prove that you have changed. Allow your new life to speak through consistent decisions. I am expanding your vision, strengthening your inner being, and preparing you for responsibilities you could not previously have carried. When you enter that season, bring with you everything formed in silence: patience, humility, discernment, and calm strength. You are becoming someone who can remain steady when everything around you trembles, not because you have never felt afraid, but because you have learned that fear no longer has the authority to choose your path for you.